quick tips for photographing your work for submission for homework. Some people have had issues with their work not being presented clearly, so this should hopefully help with that. This is a part of the presentation. Presentation is part of your final grade on every single project. So, in general, photograph your work in indirect light. So, this can be done inside, so you don't want direct light blasting on your artwork, whether from sunlight or lamps or lights. That's going to cause weird shadows and mess with the colors of your artwork. So indirect light in a shadow. Usually I do it inside in a room that has a lot of windows, and then I photograph it somewhere where there's not direct light blasting on it. You can also do it outside on a sunny day or an overcast day. If it's a sunny day, do it in the shadow, so it's not directly being hit by sunlight. Actually, overcast weather is really good weather for photographing your artwork. Hold your phone 3 to 5 feet away. We have weird lenses on our cameras. They will warp your artwork if you are too close, so hold it back. Every camera and phone lens is slightly different, so find a distance where you won't cause warp to your drawing. Color correct your artwork in Photoshop afterwards. This is a big one that everyone can do. So I will demo how I color correct my work right here. Alright, so here was my demo for the light side, shadow side project. As you can see, this is in my home. There is no sunlight or lamp light directly blasting on this. It is in indirect light, even though there's a bunch of windows in this room. This is still getting a lot of ambient light from the room, but no direct light. I'm also holding the phone, as you can see, zoomed a few feet away. I will do some from varying distance and then find which one works best. All right, so I will first crop this down, just like this. That crop actually looks pretty good. You may need to rotate things slightly to try and get these edges to line up. It also usually looks nice to have a little bit of a white border around there. So that's not an always thing, but it is nice. It is nice to include a little bit of border on there. All right, just getting this all lined up. All right, so that looks pretty good. So then what I do here is I hold it up to my original artwork. Usually when you photograph it in that indirect light, the highlights won't be quite bright enough and the shadows won't be quite dark enough. So what I use is image, adjustments, levels. This is in Photoshop. I'm not sure if other programs probably have similar color correction tools, but this is the Photoshop demo. So this is your shadows. This slider right here is your midtones, and this is your highlights. So in general, when I photograph it this way, I slide my highlights a little bit lighter and my shadows a tiny bit darker and my midtones a tiny bit darker. And you can see these are pretty minor adjustments. You can see what it does when I push it further. But I am looking at my actual physical painting right next to this screen and trying to make sure this is as close as possible to that actual painting. So that is what you should do. Hit OK. So it shouldn't take minor adjustments. It's really that indirect light being far enough away and then just hitting this with some levels adjustments. Do the same thing with any thumbnails. Okay, so I expect, now that everyone has seen this, I expect artwork to be color corrected and adjusted to a high quality to present your work.